as Pi. So yeah, we are back with the second part of the NES Mini stream. Those years of the games we've still got to do. Still got Kirby's Adventure, Mario Brothers, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, Punch-Out, Star Tropics, Super C, the 3 Super Mario Bros. Games, Tecmo Bowl, and the 2 Zeldas, all to get through. So exciting times, and let's continue with Kirby's Adventure. Falsely believed by some to be the first Kirby game. There was some Game Boy, one or two Game Boy games first, and then Kirby made the move to NES. So Kirby was very much a handheld character first, and another character that Satoru Iwata had a hand in as well. It was originally white instead of pink, because when they made it on the Game Boy, obviously it didn't have a colour, because it was a black and white, well, monochrome, kind of yellowy. So when they designed the box art in America, at least he was white, because he assumed, oh, he's got to be that colour then, but he wasn't. That's right, one Kirby's Dream Land, and then Kirby's Adventure. Yeah, there seem to be low stock in them, but there's more stock coming. Nintendo said there's more stock coming. Basically, as soon as I saw it, I pre-ordered it, because this is definitely up my street, and I had the feeling, I know it's easy saying that with hindsight now, I had the feeling that this was going to sell out quite a lot, because it's the sort of thing that non-gamers would want as well. It's very much a Christmas toy, not just like a gaming system. It's a toy for kids. It's something that people my age will buy for their spouses, because it's like, oh, remember these, remember Mario, blah 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 blah, and it's something that I think parents will want to buy for their kids, because they're harmless. I mean, they're fun games. They're all non-violent. There's no risk of their kids discovering Grand Theft Auto on it or something like that. There's no online stuff, so they don't need to worry about any nasty folks getting in touch with them. It's just good, clean fun. So yeah, a favourite Kirby game, I don't know, to be honest. The one, what's the name of the DS one, which is the remake of Kirby's Fun Pack? It's all the kind of, it's like 5 games in one, but it's actually like 9 games in one. I can't remember what it's called, but whatever, that one. Basically the DS one, where it was the remake of the SNES. Oh. This is where my time playing Nintendo Badge Arcade comes into play. Ah, come on now. Superstar Ultra, that's the one. That's my favourite Kirby game. Hello, who am I? Just to be clear, Jerry, are you asking me who I am? Because, or someone else in the chat? Because I will happily tell you who I am if you don't know. But I don't want to confuse you in case you were asking someone else. I stopped playing Badge Arcade for a while, so I'm only on like 260 odd, 270 badges. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming most people know, but I don't want to just assume everyone knows Kirby. Kirby has the ability to swallow things and inherit their powers. If an enemy has a special power, he can steal their power. It's what makes him a good Smash Brothers character, because he can literally steal every character's abilities. I don't like the Pokemon leaks at all. It really winds me up, to be honest. It's bad enough. I'm not happy in general with the way the pre-release coverage of it has been handled. Not the coverage, but the way it's been marketed. Obviously this is like a Pokemon company decision, I would imagine, not a Nintendo decision, but I don't like the fact that like so many Pokemon have been revealed before the games come out. It's kind of, I always think half the fun of a new Pokemon game and a new generation is discovering the new Pokemon and seeing what they're like, and literally coming across one for the first time in the open. But not kind of like discovering one and saying, "Oh, it's that one that they announced last month." So that bit annoys me. But I really don't like people blowing it open and leaking everything. I think that's a shambles. Nintendo need to start digitally signing pre-release versions of games, because so that it's clear who owns each copy. Because these people need to be held accountable. It's ruining the game for a lot of people. Even people that don't go out seeking Pokemon information, there's always going to be idiots who want to kind of ruin it for people, and will happily go on Twitter or Reddit or Facebook or anything, Tumblr or whatever, and just post images and spoil things for people who maybe didn't want it spoiled. It's annoying that the only way to get past it is to not go on the internet for like a month before the new Pokemon comes out, which shouldn't have to be a thing. So yeah, it disappoints me. I'd rather these games... I'm not even against data mining in general. I'm against it before a game even comes out, and even when a game is out, if there's still DLC to come. I don't like when they were when the Smash Brothers DLC characters were leaked before the announcement was made. There's no fun in that. That's not fun anymore. That's just like when they finally make the announcement, everyone goes, "Oh yeah, so that was real then." As opposed to people going, "Oh what? I didn't see that coming." So it's sucking the fun out of gaming. I think there should be the community, the data mining community should have some sort of decency, and maybe agree that you data mine a game after it's totally dead and there's no DLC coming, and it's widely agreed that the game is complete. Then by all means go knock yourself out and see how the game's made and find its inner workings. But anything up to that point, I think it just ruins the fun for people, and fun's kind of the point. So that's my wee rant. We're at the end for Kirby. That was Kirby's Adventure. So I didn't talk much about Kirby because I went off on one there about people spoiling games. But Mario Brothers, the original Mario Brothers. That music. Let's do it. So this was the first, basically the first Mario game in which Mario was called Mario at the start, as opposed to Donkey Kong where he was Mr. Video and then Jumpman, and then later became Mario when it came to America. This is the first game where he was Mario from the start. This is the first game where he was a plumber. Yeah, loads of firsts. First kind of proper... First appearance of Luigi as well in 2-player mode. This is Luigi's debut. And yeah, just a general... Some people also say the first appearance of Koopa Troopa, but it isn't. That's not a Koopa Troopa. It's got a different name. I can't remember. It's something like a Shell Creeper or something like that, but it's not a Koopa Troopa. Which is why they don't come out their shell and you can't kick them. Again, this was before Nintendo kind of perfected, or at least came to an agreement on Mario's jumping feel, like in Super Mario Brothers. So the jumping in this one's slightly awkward as well. It takes a wee bit of getting used to. So people who are familiar with the Super Mario Brothers games and playing this for the first time might struggle with it a wee bit at first, because it's a very different kind of, it handles differently, the jumping feels different. Yeah, it's still good. It's very much, this was an arcade game first, so it's got that arcade game feel where there's not a lot of progression. You're just going through a series of similar levels, and the aim is literally kill the baddies and that's it. So it's very arcade style in that sense. I'm gonna die. There we go, did. I'll get him next time. Yeah, it was in all the Super Mario Advance games as a kind of bonus game, which is nice. And also in Super Mario Bros. 3, you could use it to, if you're playing a 2-player game, you could enter a mini game based on this, where you could steal your partner's blocks, essentially. Like, steal their, when you finish a level, you get a star, mushroom, or flower block, which gives you extra lives. Bless me. And you could steal your the other player's blocks in this mode. Yeah, Mario's my favourite franchise. I would say that Super Mario Bros. Was the first game I properly fell in love with, and so that'll be fun when I get to that. And yeah, it's just been, they're consistently high quality. Even the Mario games that aren't great, like, or aren't agreed to be great by everyone, like Super Mario Sunshine, are still infinitely higher quality than most other platformers by other companies. A few exceptions accepted, obviously, but for the most part, you can't beat a Mario game, in my opinion. It's been a long time since I played Mario Brothers, though. Why did the crabs have one eye? Did it? I didn't even notice. I'm pretty sure these are untouched ROMs, so I don't see why. Oh, this is an awkward situation I've made for myself. Oh, come on, idiot. Yeah, there's a couple of annoying Sunshine. That one where you've got to keep blasting upwards onto all the platforms is infuriating, but overall I don't mind it. Oh no. That's going to be tight. Hello Martin, Stuff64. What did you miss? I can't remember when you left. If you go to tiredoldhack.com and go to the first article about this stream, that gives you the list, the schedule, everything in order, so that'll tell you what you missed. Because we've been going through an alphabetical order, so I can't really remember off the top of my head what we've just done, but or when you left us. But yeah, that tiredoldhack.com article about this has the full list and the full schedule of what's to come. So yeah. Bosh. So yeah, I've got a wee soft spot for Mario Brothers. I mean, it's a pretty basic game when you look at it now. Obviously, like I say, because it was an arcade game, there's a lot of limitations to it, but it's still fun. It handles reasonably well compared to stuff like Ice Climbers, for example, which had slightly kind of trickier controls. The jumping in this is okay. It's not as refined as it is in Super Mario Brothers, but it's still pretty good. Yeah, that's right. They changed the Koopas in this to spinies, presumably because as it became known in like Mario lore that you jump on Koopa Troopers' backs to kill them. A lot of people didn't realise that the ones in this aren't Koopa Troopers or Shell Creepers or whatever they're called. So a lot of people kept trying to jump on their backs. When they re-released versions of this, people would still try to jump on their backs and get frustrated because they're Koopa Troopers. That's what's supposed to happen, even though they aren't, and it isn't. But so yeah, they replaced them with spinies, the enemies with the spines on their backs that Lakitu throws at you, because it was kind of considered more obvious then you don't jump on these, you got to hit them from underneath. So yeah, they changed the enemy. Oh, the fly's got one set of wings. I get the feeling you're maybe getting a stream at only 30 frames instead of 60. Because what happens is it was to save processing, like for processing stuff. The enemies would flicker sometimes between. So the flies have got two wings and the crabs have got two eyes, but it's flickering between them in each frame. So it's rendering the left wing, then the right wing, then the left, then the right. I say rendering, it's drawing them. So maybe you're seeing it at 30 frames, and that's why it looks like they've only got one eye and one set of wings, because they actually have two, but they're flicking between them in each frame, and you're only getting half the frames, possibly. It's one of the reasons why sometimes when you see people playing emulated versions of a NES game at only 30 frames a second, and when Mario takes a hit and starts flashing, he turns invisible instead, because the frames where he appears, when he flashes, he basically appears, disappears, and the frames where he appears are getting skipped, so he looks invisible instead. So maybe that's what's happening. Maybe you're only getting it in 30 frames and it's you're missing half of it. That's my guess, at least. I don't know, because from where I'm playing, I don't know about everyone else is getting, but from me, yeah, the crabs have got two eyes and the flies have got two wings. Yeah, I can see here that they're flickering. They're blatantly, the eyes are appearing in each frame, but yeah, I think that's what's happening. Anyway, that is Mario Brothers, the classic Mario Brothers, and now I'm about to embarrass myself by being very bad at Mega Man 2. The difficult Mega Man 2. How's the stream for other people? Like, what are you using to watch it, and how's the quality for you? Because obviously different people using different things, it's going to vary in quality. I just want to make sure at least someone's getting it in optimal quality, so I know I'm not doing anything wrong. If someone's watching it on PC or Xbox One or something, just so I know that it actually looks the part. Just make sure it's at your end and not my end, otherwise I'll have to do something about it. Good, well that's a relief. There he is, the Bulgin. Normal's difficult enough, thanks very much. Yeah, we've passed the year 2000X. It's now 2016. I always forget the order to do these in, but I tend to do okay in Bubble Man, so let's go with it. Yeah, I think some versions of Twitch on some formats go at 30 frames a second instead of 60. I think that's maybe what the issue is. It's like, you'll probably struggle a bit with Mega Man as well, because Mega Man does the same thing where when he takes a hit and flashes, it alternates between frames. So when I hit, Mega Man will probably either not flash or completely disappear, like there. You'll probably get him either disappearing completely or not flashing at all, because on 60 frames it's alternating between each frame, if that makes sense. Oh, this game! Yeah, I should have done Metal Man, you're right. They're right, that's the order, Metal Man first. Ugh. Okay, we'll do a bit of this and then we'll quit and go to Metal Man instead. I always forget the order. I love Mega Man, but I've always struggled with it. Jesus. It's been a while, to quote Stained and Fred Durst. It's been a while. It's weird because I'm remembering some things like the timing for shooting these wee mini frogs. I say that and then mess it up. But yeah, other stuff I'm messing up. Forget it. Yeah, the save states will be a boon here. 2 is my favourite game. 2 is my favourite Mega Man. It's been a long time since I played it, so it's one of those games where once you lose the muscle memory, I've still got it to an extent, but once you forget techniques to do certain bits, it becomes obscenely difficult all over again. So it's like one of those ones I need to spend a few days with it, and everything will come kind of rushing back to me. It's certainly not going to learn it all again within 10 minutes, but yeah, stuff like I remember, like the jumping in the water. You can jump a certain height and then let go. You can jump really high, so you have to kind of calm it with the jump button once you get underwater. I remember there's a massively difficult bit coming up where you've got to do kind of narrow jumps with, yeah, here with these, because those spikes are one-hit kills. Of the NES Mini games, I genuinely think I might have played them all except Star Tropics and Final Fantasy. Tecmo Bowl I imported, so although it wasn't released here, I imported it because I was a big American football fan. I didn't play Star Tropics, I didn't play Final Fantasy, but I'm pretty sure the rest of them I owned or at least rented at one point. I was properly obsessive gamer back in the day. I think Mum and Dad realised I lived in Coatbridge, which is a kind of slightly rough part of, it's kind of working class just outside Glasgow, so I think Mum and Dad thought, well, if he's into games and he's not going outside stabbing folk, then let's just buy him as many games as we can and keep him playing them. So yeah, I had quite a lot of games when I was young, but which I was grateful for, but yeah. Right, let's do Metal Man instead. So yeah, I played a lot of the vast majority. Like I say in my Tired Old Hack article about this is my era. 8-bit and 16-bit were my kind of obsessions, so I know a lot of kind of useless trivia and stuff from those days. That's right, of course it's Metal Man first. Now, let's see if we can do this before the time runs out. Probably not, but let's go for it. Totally messing this up. There's no better feeling in a Mega Man game than destroying a random enemy and getting that the big energy power up. It's massively satisfying. When everything freezes and your energy goes all back up again. No, I was definitely never a Kev Cannon. There's a name that takes me back. Yeah, it definitely wasn't. um, yeah, Mega Man 2. I remember one of my favourite Games Master challenges when Games Master was on the telly was Mega Man 2. Where the guy did the Heatman stage, which was notoriously difficult. And he nearly got to the very end and died at the last minute, and they did like a really depressing slow motion bit of him dying. Yeah, Mega Man 8, 9 and 10 I really enjoyed, because basically, yeah, they were authentic, do you know what I mean? They felt like lost Mega Man games. Oh, that's dick. Always struggled with this guy. There he is, done and dusted. Let's do 1 minute of Heatman. Just because the music's incredible, and then our time's up and we're moving on to the next game. But this music. Listen to that. Jesus. I didn't mind any of the NES Mega Man sequels, to be honest. I know that people take things a bit seriously and say, "Oh, this one was a disgrace," and this one was unbeatable and all that. To be honest, I didn't see a massive difference between them all. I know that when they added stuff like Rush and stuff like that, it kind of got a bit fiddlier, but never to the extent that it never still felt like a Mega Man game. You know what I mean? They all still felt like Mega Man. Mega Man X took me a while to kind of get into, because that had such a different feel. But all the rest, like, I really enjoyed them. I'm struggling here. Oh, time's up. So that's Mega Man 2, a lovely game. Still very difficult to this day, so you should enjoy it. Here it is, the Bulgin Metroid. I always forget whether to go left or right first in Metroid. Like, all these years, like, it's still... Oh, there we go. So obviously, most people know Metroid, but for those who don't, this was one of the games that started the obvious Metroidvania genre, as one along with Castlevania. Where it's not a linear, it's a platformer but it doesn't have a linear path. You have to kind of explore kind of, let's say an open world, but like a non-linear environment with loads of different paths. And the other thing that makes a Metroidvania game is there will be bits where you can't access until there are bits you can't access until you get abilities later on in the game, and then you have to backtrack on yourself and then go back to the places you weren't able to get to, and that's the kind of key to what makes a Metroidvania game what it is. I liked Other M. A lot of people, to be fair, I think it's because I was never too invested in Metroid lore, so I always just enjoyed Metroid because they were fun. I'm going to die here, what an idiot. I'm talking too much. Instant game over within 2 minutes. Yeah, I always just played them for the games, and I was never really interested in anything like that. Oh, continued. I was never really interested in the story that much, so I can understand why people who were and got a bit annoyed because they thought Samus was made to look quite weak and stuff like that. But I was never really. I always thought the fact you were playing as a female hero who was kicking 7 shades of, you know what, out of everyone, kind of meant that she was never really that weak. She might have had a bit of a kind of sensitive side to her and other end, but she was still kicking the hell out of everyone. So, but I just never really took it too seriously, and I appreciate there's people who it means a lot more to. Samus as a character means a lot more to them than me, and I can understand why they would maybe be annoyed. But just personally, I still enjoyed the game for what it was and didn't really pay much attention to the storyline, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why some people didn't like it, but I mean, I did. Remember, there's the Smash Brothers on was it the GameCube one? Was it Melee that had the Metroid-inspired bonus stage where you had to climb something like this and get to the top before it blows up? I want to say it was Melee, but it might have been 64 had the target practice in the Assault course, but I can't remember if it had this as well. Worst NES game I played? Where's Wally on the NES was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So probably that. Energy's not looking good. Yeah, it was Melee, that's right. Always Smash Brothers always kind of merge together for me. Yeah, as ever, if you're enjoying this stream, we've still got a couple of hours left, so feel free to share it with chums, put it on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, whatever, get people along to join in the old bants. You think you'll ever play through Metroid NES without a guide? Mate, I did it years ago, but back in the NES days, obviously there were no guides weren't freely available. You had to hope a magazine would print the full solution, which didn't really happen in NES days. Game guides didn't really start coming out in Britain, at least until the SNES days, when the first kind of Prima guides started coming out. But in the SNES days, they didn't really come out here. There were some in America, but not so much in Britain. So you just kind of had to deal with it and figure it out. So yeah, I played through it back, but that was a long time ago, and can't really. I mean, I don't think I would use a guide today. I'd rather take the time and figure it out, but I certainly wouldn't breeze through it. I've forgotten so much of this game that I wouldn't use a guide for it, but I would need to relearn most of it, I would imagine. That's a good thing about games these old, though, is that games as old as these, because when a game's been out for such a long time, you can leave it for long enough that it becomes new again to you. Not that Metroid will ever be new to me, but it's been so long since I played it now that I can kind of discover it all over again. There'll be bits I remember and stages where I go, oh yeah, here's this bit and here's that bit. But there'll also be like the exact sequence of events and the exact sequence of places you've got to go I've forgotten over the years, and that, so I'm kind of learning it all over again, and that makes it more fun than if I was just kind of playing the same thing over and over again that I already knew. Yeah, Super Metroid came with a beast of a guide. Honestly, I don't remember. I know the guide came with Earthbound, but I don't remember it because obviously Earthbound was never released in Britain. Britain didn't get Earthbound until it came to the Wii Virtual Console, like decades later. That was the first time we got Earthbound. God, Hans. Is Hans still alive? Hans was for those not aware, Hans was a rather dodgy art teacher at my school. I say dodgy, there was nothing proven, but he wasn't the nicest guy. And now see, this is an example of the Metroidvania in action. I've taken a wrong turn in here and basically can't do anything here because I need to get the bomb ability. So what I would do is I would go in here, blow this up, but I can't. So I need to go back. And that, my friends, is Metroidvania genre in action. The birth of the genre. Because as you'll have seen earlier, Castlevania wasn't at this point yet. It wasn't free roaming like this. It was still kind of linear. So at this point, it wasn't the Metroidvania genre. It was just the Metroid genre. So yeah, you can see it's like a massive environment to explore. There's, I'm going to die again here. Loads to see and do. But yeah, the whole point of it was that you had to explore it. You had to work your way through all the routes and kind of, through the process of elimination, discover which ones were which, and then eventually master the game to the point that you could finish it quickly enough to see the secret ending where it was finally revealed that Samus was a woman and not a man. Even the instruction manual said that Samus was a man, because obviously whoever wrote the manual were just hired to write the manual and didn't realise that they were actually talking about a woman. They refer to Samus as he at one point. No, we only did a couple for Castlevania 2 because we've been playing them in alphabetical order. So I think it was just like Bubble Bobble, Balloon Fight, Castlevania, and then Castlevania 2, so there's only a few games. But yeah, there we go, there's Metroid. A classic, a true classic. As is Ninja Gaiden, but again, it's been a long time since I played this. It wasn't called Ninja Gaiden in Britain because in the 80s and early 90s the whole ninja thing was frowned upon. The British government weren't too happy with it, so there was almost a kind of ban on ninja related things. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles became Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. They weren't allowed to have nunchucks. Well, the Turtles movie was cut, so the nunchuck scene was removed. So yeah, I can't remember what it was called here. I want to say it was Shadow Warrior, but that might be totally wrong. I need to look it up. I can't remember off the top of my head. Someone can Wikipedia it for me while I'm playing. But yeah, it wasn't called Ninja Gaiden here. I want to say Shadow Warrior, but I'm not 100% certain. Oh, Ninja Gaiden's obscenely difficult. There's a wall jump, but I can't remember how to do it. I'm not sure I ever did beat Ninja Gaiden back in the day. I think I gave up on it. It's excellent, but it's Shadow Warriors. There we go. Quite happy with that. It's like knowledge that I've not thought about for years and just pulled out the top of my head. I'm quite happy that I knew that. This is the sign of a true retro games journalist. So they have to pull out facts without looking at Wikipedia. That's the thing to be wary of, because any website can pretend to be a retro expert now, because you just look up Wikipedia and see when games were released and find out all the controversies at the time and all that. But I lived it and loved it. So there's a lot of stuff I kind of just know. Now, I'm wary of saying stuff like that because it sounds massively boastful, but this is definitely... spent my formative years playing this and reading every magazine I could back in the day, so there's loads of kind of forgotten facts and trivia and all that were kind of stayed in those magazines and has since gone kind of unremembered and unreported. So I'm sure at some point on Tired Old Hack you'll be seeing loads of retro stuff digging up old gems. That's the thing, I've always known them as the Hero Turtles, even though that was wrong. That was what we Brits knew, so they were always Hero Turtles to us. Such a difficult game, this though. I mean, they always have been. Even the modern kind of Ninja Gaiden games were difficult too. That was their selling point. Deed. Was it Ninja in Poland? Yeah, it's literally. I get the feeling it was literally just Britain. That maybe there's a couple of other countries, but certainly just Britain had the whole. They didn't like ninjas and nunchucks, so that was kind of. It was the kind of fallout from the Video Nasties thing where everyone lost their mind over dodgy videos and wanted to protect their children. So a lot of early videos were that were released in Britain were ninja videos as well. So yeah, people got a bit antsy in their pantsy about that. I can't remember how to do it. Oh, there's a ladder there. If the NES Mini games had achievements, 100% I would try and get them all. That's what I'm praying the Switch does, is have an achievement system, because it just makes games more fun. I know not everyone likes them, not everyone plays Xbox games or PlayStation games for achievements, but this is the world we live in now. Steam's got achievements, Android's got achievements, iOS has got achievements. Even Xbox One apps, some apps have achievements for watching 10 shows in a row on Netflix and stuff like that. It just makes things more fun and literally, well, obviously gives you a feeling of achievement. That's why it's called that. I think I've died exactly the same bit 3 times in a row, Jesus. Yeah, I would love for the Switch to have achievements. And yeah, obviously, and hopefully, unlikely as it may be, it would be lovely if the Switch has some kind of virtual console, if they added achievements to that, because I mean, Sony have done that recently with PS4. They've re-released some old PS2 games and added trophy support to them, so depends how they do it, but I'm sure it would be a hell of a lot of work to add an achievement system to these old games. I mean, you get it all the time with the Sega classics that were released on Xbox 360 arcade and stuff like that. They added achievements to all those. It can be done. I saw it this time and still got hit by it. Right. Okay, we're safe. Oh, good God Almighty. What was I saying? Yeah, I love playing games for achievements. It extends their lifespan, gives you a kind of record of what you've done that you can always kind of keep with you and share with people. It gives you a reason to compete with other people, even if you're not playing against them online. If you're not competing against them online, you can still compete with them in a way by seeing what achievements they've got and trying. It's essentially a console-wide high score table, which I love. How many gamer score do I hope to achieve before I die? I'm on 198,000, I think. So obviously the next goal is to hit 200,000. I'll hopefully do that within the next month or two, and then 300,000 would be nice. That's years away, but that's my next goal. Certainly 250,000. If I hit 250,000, that would be nice. And then next step is, yeah, 300,000. So yeah, this is Ninja Gaiden, so I'm not really talking much about it. a really accomplished game for its age. I mean, you consider NES was very limited hardware at the time, but developers could do some amazing things with it. I mean, look at that. This is still massively playable. A lot of games don't hold up. Was this 89? So how old is that? Nearly 30 years. A lot of games don't hold up 3 decades later, but this one is still fun and playable. It's still got jippy bits, but it's still entertaining. Yeah, I don't see me getting a million gamer score unless the next 4 Microsoft consoles all continue your gamer score. Maybe I'll hit it when I'm 50. Oh, glad to hear your haircut went well. Ah, indeed. I'm on my last life now, game over is looming. Look at this numpty! Ah. Good God. Now, 1 minute more in Ninja Gaiden and then we're moving on. I can't remember what to. I suppose we'll soon find out. You can't just fall here, can you? Oh yeah, it's a ladder. That's right. Jesus, come on. Deed. And there we go. That was Ninja Gaiden. Still a fun wee game. A difficult game and still a bit cheap and jippy, but it's, yeah, fun. Still fun. Nearly 3 decades later. There he is, the Bulgin Pac-Man. Also, this version isn't as good as the arcade one, but it's still a half decent port. Certainly better than the previous home ports, like the Atari 2600 one and the like. This one at least was accurate enough. Although there's weird things like the ghosts changing direction when they kind of really shouldn't and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's Pac-Man, there's not really much you can say about it. It's difficult to go on at length for 10 minutes about Pac-Man, but you know what it is, you know why it's important, you know how influential it was, you know it kind of broke arcades, and basically made arcades big, because like, obviously Pong was big first, but Pac-Man was the one that properly, and Space Invaders as well, but Pac-Man was the one that properly took off, and became a American sensation. My problem is I get greedy for the fruit. Even though it's dangerous to go for the strawberry, I've got to get the strawberry. Right, how am I going to get to this power pellet? Through sheer luck. Bang. I never got to play Pac-Man Versus. I didn't have anyone who had a Game Boy Advance and the link cable. Yeah, because it was GameCube and Game Boy Advance effort, wasn't it? I do like Pac-Man. It's pretty mindless. It's one of those games you can just switch your mind off and just play it one-handed as well. You could check in your texts and stuff. Well, I've been playing Pac-Man 256 recently on Xbox One. I think it's on other systems as well. It's the one by the Crossy Road people that they released for Pac-Man's anniversary, 35th anniversary, I think. It's quite good fun. It's one of those kind of endless type games where you just keep scrolling up the way, but it's fun. Highly recommended. It's on mobile for free though, I think, so you might want to check that instead. Pac-Man 256. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Oh. Also amazing is the Pac-Man Championship Edition games. All of them are great, but Championship Edition 2 DX is obscenely addictive. I've not played Championship Edition 2 yet, but if you get Championship Edition DX, it's fantastic. Fantastic. Yep, that's the one. That's the Crossy Road one. Obviously, as you go down people's stuff, they probably already know, as you go through each level in Pac-Man, the power pills last shorter times, so you can't rely on it as much. Do I read contribute to Retro Gamer? I don't. I'd like to. Sent my pitch a while back, but it didn't really work out. I'd like to contribute to Retro Gamer, but one of the problems is, from what I can gather, you need to have some kind of contacts in some retro gaming contacts. You don't have to, but it certainly helps when you're pitching, because part of Retro Gamer isn't just the nostalgia element of looking back on the games. A lot of the Retro Gamer articles are about actually interviewing the people who made the games as well, and on a freelance basis I don't have any retro contacts, because obviously I joined in 2006, so most of the people I know in the gaming industry were around then as opposed to around in the 80s, so I don't know any kind of Spectrum era, Amiga era contacts or anything like that, and that kind of hinders my ability to pitch to Retro Gamer, because I can write articles, but I think their belief is that anyone can write retro articles, even though I personally think there's I don't know, I'm putting words in the mouth there, that's not fair, but yeah, long story short, I've pitched before and didn't really work out because I didn't have any contacts to interview as part of my article, so yeah. In short, I do read it, I'd like to contribute to it, but on a freelance basis it takes up more work than I would like, because you're having to go and try and find people to interview and stuff as well, which, not that I'm lazy, but for the freelance rates that you get in some magazines these days, it's not, the effort doesn't justify the cost, essentially. So yeah, I'm happier writing retro stuff on Tired Old Hack instead. I've got so many retro articles I want to write, and I'd rather save them for Tired Old Hack. But yeah, cheers. I'm glad you like the O&M stuff. But yeah, there will be stuff like it on Tired Old Hack, definitely, without a doubt. We've got a thing called Retro Vault that I used to do on CVG, and I've moved it over to Tired Old Hack, and I'm about to go on in that in a big way. It's annoying. My Tired Old Hack stuff is hindered because my wrist. I've got like a wrist, say injury, but it's just like a condition at this point. Like there's a cyst in my wrist, which rhymes but isn't that entertaining. Basically, when I move, after I use my right wrist for a while to write, when I'm writing or gaming or whatever, it kind of inflames a bit, and so when the cyst moves, it rubs a tendon against my bone, and it's pretty painful. It's actually quite painful just now, but I've still got an hour and a half left, so we'll just grin and bear it. Yeah, so that's limiting the amount of writing I can do just now. But once I'm kind of fighting fit again, there's loads of retro stuff I want to be writing for Tired Old Hack. I'm going to be doing a load of videos coming up though, not just streaming, but I've got a load of old VHS tapes from late 80s, mostly early 90s of that came in magazines and I bought in the shops and stuff like that, gaming videos, loads of promo videos and stuff like that. So I'm going to be digitising a load of those, putting them on YouTube, and then recording commentary tracks to them. So it'll be similar to what you're watching just now, where I'm doing commentary over videos, but it'll be like old school videos. So yeah, that'll be fun, hopefully for people who are retro minded. Should be good. I've not seen Arrival yet, but I've heard it's amazing. I don't like the noise Pac-Man makes when he dies in this version. It's a bit too shrill. The arcade one's a lot deeper. It's like, meow, 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 meow. But yeah, it's Pac-Man in it, there's not really much you can add to it. It's one of those ones where the conversation dies a bit because it is what it is. Everyone knows Pac-Man. But yeah, I mean, considering you get all this on the NES Mini for like, was it $49.99? It's a pretty bloody good deal, if I do say so myself. Yeah, if you go to the About section on Tired Old Hack, it kind of explains it. Basically, when CVG was shutting down, some wee idiot sent me an email basically saying, I'm sad CVG's going, but I'm delighted as well because it means that you won't have a job anymore. He was basically saying that I'm a games journalism is a young man's game because people have to stay modern and like with the times. Whereas I'm just a tired old hack who tells people that the SNES was better than the PlayStation 4, which I never actually said, but it probably is. So yeah, I decided that rather than get worked up about it or send him an email back calling him an idiot, I decided to use it. So, which is why I called the site Tired Old Hack. Basically a reader who doesn't like me called me it. So I decided to use it. So now here we go. I used to love Punch-Out. Punch-Out isn't really a boxing game, it's more just a series of boss fights where you just have to learn. The whole game is about looking for patterns and exposing them. Ah, cheers mate, thank you. If I never got the email, I've no idea. It'd probably something really boring like I don't even know, some sort of gaming related thing like press start, but I'm sure there's already a site called that, but something like that ilk. Or some bad joke like Scullion, inside Scullion Skull or something like that again. So yeah, Glass Joe is the easiest punch out opponent, hence his name being a pun on Glass Jaw, because he has a glass jaw. Oh, cheers, mate. But yeah, some people are just like, I think it was like a PlayStation fanboy, and I've never been against PlayStation, but when you make the move from single format O&M and Nintendo Gamer to multi-format, you quickly realise that there are a lot of strange people out there who are obsessed with a single format and couldn't possibly accept that anyone likes anything else. So yeah, I got a lot of, let's say, hate for my Nintendo love, even though like we were talking about earlier, I've pretty obviously got a big Xbox gamer score, and I just bought a PS4 Pro, so pretty obviously like all types of games. It just so happens that Nintendo's what I know most about because it's what I grew up with. If there was still an official Sega magazine, I would do just as well. I would have done just as well writing for that because I had a Mega Drive as well and a Dreamcast, so I knew those inside out as well. It's just cheers, Mr. Jam, I appreciate that. But yeah, it is what it is. It's like a gamer's a gamer, innit? You've not got to. I mean, a lot of people can't afford all the systems, and that's totally understandable. And I imagine that's how a lot of fanboy stuff starts: is that people, for whatever reason, can only have one console, and so they make themselves feel better by putting down the other one. When in reality, all consoles have their own strengths and weaknesses. Sometimes those weaknesses are obvious, like obviously the Wii U's weakness was graphics and the fact that Nintendo can never really properly explain what it was and get people's heads around it. But its strengths are obvious as well, so yeah, I've never been into that kind of fanboy stuff. If you've only got one, that's fine, that's just the way it is. Not everyone can afford everything. But it doesn't mean other people's choices should be put down. I'm sure I'm preaching to the converted here, I'm sure you all agree. There he is, TKO. This is the second version of Punch-Out, actually. Well, the second NES one. There was an arcade game first called Punch-Out, which used 2 TVs. Basically, Nintendo had a load of spare display units lying about, so they decided to make a double screen game, kind of like a DS or a Game & Watch, only in an arcade. So it had 2 TVs, one giving you information and one showing the game. So that was the first Punch-Out. And then it was Super Punch-Out in the arcades, and then Punch-Out, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was actually the third game. So the NES Punch-Out was the third game, and obviously Mike Tyson's the final boss. And then when the Mike Tyson license ran out, Nintendo re-released it as Punch-Out starring Mr. Dream. So now this is this version with Mr. Dream as the final boss instead. And yes, this is like technically the third Punch-Out game, but technically the fourth, because it's the same as the Mike Tyson one, but without Mike Tyson in it. Do you still keep in touch with O&M folks? Yeah, I keep in touch with a lot of them. Just keep in touch with Chandler. Chandler's a marketing guy at Nintendo UK now, so he helped. Oh, this bit. I forgot how to block high. And there we go. Got it. Too late now. Too late. Yeah, so I speak to Chandler a lot. In fact, he just shared it on Facebook. He shared the link to this streams. That's nice. But yeah, I keep in touch with a lot of them. Tom East, who's the online editor, he works at Red Bull now, so I write some stuff for him freelance. So I write some stuff on the Red Bull site. I still speak to Mike Jackson, who was at NOM, like the official Nintendo magazine before NOM. Before O&M, he moved to official Xbox magazine and then CVG, so still pal with Jackson, but he lives in America now. Still speak to, who else? Lewis, who was the art editor at O&M. He was the one who did the Resident Evil cover, the one with the hand coming out. It's gonna kill me. The one with the hand coming out, the dart holding the Wii remote. That was Lewis. That was Lewis's hand, and he did the cover. Yeah, I speak to most of them. If I don't, because I live in Scotland now, I don't see them all like a lot, but we keep in touch on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. So yeah, I still talk to them all. I've not played Kate's Twine game yet, but I need to play it. I like Kate. Kate's a brilliant writer. She's going to go far. I mean, she already is going far, but she seems like everything she tries to do is brilliant. So yeah, I'm excited to see what she does next. I missed it. I'm sure there's an opportunity to hit him. It's a lot more epic than it used to be back in the day. I used to be a lot better at taking this guy out quickly. If you can find it, you should get the Wii version of Punch Out as well. It was an amazing looking game. I think it's maybe on the Wii U eShop. I think there was one of the Wii games they re-released for Wii U. It's brilliant. The animation's incredible in it. It's the same basic game, but it looks a lot better. Yeah, Matt Castle's a nice guy. It's funny because we were rivals for the longest time. Not directly, but because he was a staff writer on Then Gamer and I was a staff writer on Official Nintendo Magazine, and then we both went up to Games Editor, I believe. So yeah, we both kind of... But it was funny because then, obviously I jumped to Nintendo Gamer, then he jumped to O&M, and I was at Nintendo Gamer when it closed and he was at O&M when it closed, so we both started as rivals and then both ultimately shut down our each other's publications, which was a bit odd. So I turned the lights off at Nintendo Gamer essentially, and he turned the lights off on O&M. There he is, Doc Brown, a legend. The good old days as well, we had to write down your password. Look at this numpty. Punch Out was full of like outrageous stereotypes. Like these ones weren't so offensive, but there was Soda Popinski, who in the arcade version was actually called Vodka Drunkinski, and was like basically a drunk Russian boxer who starts amazing, but then has a drink of vodka after every round and gets drunk, and eventually, so the key to beating him is basically survive for a few rounds until he gets so drunk he can't fight, which is pretty shocking when you think about it nowadays. But yeah, for the NES version they changed it to Soda Popinski. He still gets drunk, but on Soda Pop instead. Aye, right. Oh, that's time. Punch Out. The bell rings on Punch Out. Knock him down then. There we go. That's Punch Out. Still love Punch Out. Here's Star Tropics. This is going to be an interesting one to try and do, because again it's an RPG like Final Fantasy. So you're not going to really get to see a lot of it in 10 minutes, but this is a hidden gem. Not a lot of people know Star Tropics, but it's excellent. So obscenely cheery music as well. Yeah, of course, that's what I was going to say. No, it doesn't bode well for that pig, does it? I thought was there not a second Star Tropics? I'm sure there was a Star Tropics 2 anyway. It's been a while since I played this. I reviewed it for O&M when it came to Virtual Console, but I can't remember where you're supposed to go. So this might be an awkward 10 minutes. Oh, you mean another? Oh, right, another game. Maybe, I don't know. I'd like to see it, but probably not, because it was too obscure, I think, which is a shame. The interesting thing, I don't know how they're going to do this, but Star Tropics had an interesting wee thing called an interesting wee puzzle where at some point you receive like a message telling you to soak the letter or something like that, or put the letter in water, and you didn't really know what that meant. But the game originally actually came with a letter from your uncle, like basically telling you stuff, and you had to physically take that letter and dip it in a bowl of water, and some of the paper would fade and reveal a message. So it was like a physical puzzle that actually came with the game. When you soaked that letter in water, it revealed a message, which was amazing. And when they brought it out in Virtual Console, obviously it couldn't do that. So instead, so I don't know where the hell I'm going here. I'm still going back in the village. So instead, you could go in the Virtual Console menu, the game's instruction manual in the game, and it had like a digital version of the manual, which you could. Oh, it's a tunnel, yeah. A digital version of the instruction manual with a digital version of the letter, where you could press a button and it would dip itself in water and show you what it said. So it was like a secret code you needed, so that was pretty cool. But I don't know how they're going to do it in this, because obviously there's no manual and there's no physical letter, so I don't know if when you get to it maybe it'll just unlock it or something. They'll have to have modified it in some way, because otherwise that's a point in the game where you can't get past, basically. Pardon me, without that code you can't get past it. So I don't know what they're going to do. Look at that though, I love how the graphical style just switches. Oh, they're online manuals, yeah. But even so, that's a tricky. Not a lot of people who buy this are going to know that much about it. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to. Either way, yeah. I suppose not everyone reads the quick start guides and stuff like that, but whatever. At least there's a way to find the manual. I suppose there's that. Oh, I did. Oh, that's right, you can do a double, you can jump too. So yeah, this is a nifty wee game which was pretty much forgotten. It's a kind of cross between Earthbound and Zelda, pretty much. And I like it. But yeah, it's long forgotten. It's one of these kind of cult games where people who play it really enjoy it, but it's not really. I was going to say it's not stood the test of time. It blatantly has. It's still an excellent game, but it's not as fondly remembered as other games, let's say, which is a shame. Oh, I can't forget how. I always forget how to do that bit. Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom, is that the one? No, that wasn't the one we need to move, but I'm thinking of Quirk, which is a guy who was a tomato on the Game Boy. Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom, that was similar though, wasn't it? It was kind of, it looked like this, and all the characters were stupid vegetables. I remember reading about it and reading reviews and adverts and stuff, but never actually having it. Oh, that's right. So yeah, of all the games on the NES Mini, I would imagine this is the one that fewest people have played, other than Tecmo Bowl. In Europe, I would imagine not a lot of Europeans have played Tecmo Bowl, but certainly with Europe and America combined, I would imagine this is the least played of the 30 games on here because it was pretty much ignored when it first came out. But it's excellent. It's a great wee game. Yeah, I'm holding up fine. All good in the hood. Can't complain. Scrolling here is getting a wee bit janky again. I think when we get as far as Mario, the Mario games, will stop the stream again just to freshen things up a bit. It's weird. I don't understand why it does it when I'm grabbing. For some reason, after an hour or so, it just kind of gives up basically and stops performing as well as it could. I've never really understood why it does that, but it seems to do that for me for some reason. It's fine. It's not a problem when games are 30 frames a second because it's not noticeable. But for 60 frames a second games, it starts to get quite distracting, especially for a game like Mario where the scrolling is quite fast. It's going to look horrible. So I think when we get as far as Mario, we'll do another wee quick stop and start just to just to kind of freshen it up a bit. Hey, did. No need to save, mate. We're just finishing. So yeah, that was Star Tropics, a lovely wee game. Does it have a manual here, or is it? It obviously doesn't. Oh, unless it's. Oh yeah, so that'll be it. You'd go in there and find the manual for Star Tropics there. So there we go. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, you can see the scrolling's getting a bit iffy. So we'll do Super C, and then do another restart, and then we'll have the 3 Mario games, Tecmo Bowl, and 2 Zeldas, and we're done. So it's Super C first. Bang. Now this is a Konami game. It doesn't use the Konami code, it uses a different code. So instead it's right, left, down, up, A, B, start. I'll do it again, right, left, down, up, A, B, start. And that gives you 10 lives instead of 3. Which you kind of need for a game like this because it's nails. So Super C is basically the second Contra game. Contra was called Probotector in Britain, and this was Probotector 2, but in America it was Contra and Super C. So it's called Super C because these are all the American versions of the games on the NES Mini, so that they run at the full 60 hertz instead of 50, which it did back in the day. And PAL TVs ran at 50 hertz and American TVs ran at 60, so they ran a tiny wee bit. They ran basically 20% faster on America than they did in Britain. So yeah, so all the games in the NES Mini are the American version, so they run at the full speed they were supposed to run at, which is nice. I don't know, was it a Japanese link? I'll need to check and see. If it was a Japanese link, it would maybe be a link to nintendo.co.jp, but an English version of the manuals, so I think it'd be too... I think it'd be cause for concern if it was a Japanese link. A lot of English stuff's on nintendo.co.jp, like when they do the financial results and all that and translate them in English, they still have them on the nintendo.co.jp site in English instead of the other Nintendo sites. All the kind of corporate stuff stays on the Japanese site. So yeah, this is difficult. It was one of these kind of similar to Ghosts and Goblins. It's one of those kind of games where you have to very slowly inch your way forward every time you play it and unlock the next wee bit, then the next wee bit, then the next wee bit, and very slowly but surely kind of discover new areas of the game. It's the most blatant weak spot in gaming history. Done. Super C is a tiny wee bit easier than Contra, I would say. Not much, but a wee bit. So impressive as this looks, it's not massively... It's still a difficult game, but it's not as difficult as if Contra was in it. That's not to say I probably still won't lose all 10 lives before this 10 minutes is up, but there you go. I'll stick with my machine gun, thanks very much. There we go. So every kind of boss in Super C and in Contra is about finding the right spot to stand basically and be safe. Once you can find the safe spots, it gets a bit easier, but it's finding those safe spots without taking a bullet up the nut. I would say that I'm feeling pretty lucky just now. This is the longest I've gone in this game for ages without being killed. Oh, there we go. It was inevitable. Oh, I've lost my machine gun now. Switch being gimmicky, I'm not so sure. I mean, basically, obviously blatantly it does have a gimmick. That's kind of the point of it, is that is the gimmick, but it's a useful gimmick, do you know what I mean? It's, not all gimmicks are bad, like the DS had a gimmick and it worked really well. The Wii had a gimmick, and even though people eventually turned on it, the motion sensing thing did kind of revolutionise things. So not all gimmicks are bad, you know what I mean? The D-pad was a gimmick when Nintendo first used it, and shoulder buttons were a gimmick when Nintendo added them to the SNES, but they're all kind of second nature now. Rumble was a gimmick, analog sticks were a gimmick. Sometimes a gimmick improves gaming, do you know what I mean? Hand's killing me. My wrist's sore in one hand, and the D-pad doesn't really designed well for 5-hour sessions. There we go. There we go. This is where it starts to feel more Contra when it goes back to the jungle. And obviously starts to get really difficult again as well. Yeah, it's proper like Contra levels of difficulty again. Ah. Its music was also pretty impressive for the time as well. It's almost it's using like samples for new instruments, which is quite cool. Ah, this could be it. Game over. There we go. Right, game over with a minute to go. What we'll do is we'll stop it again and do another quick restart because we're coming up for Mario now and the scrolling is going to be quite a distraction if it's going to be choppy. So stick around. I'm not... this isn't the end of the stream. I'm just going to kill the stream for a split second. Give me literally 60 seconds and I'll be back again like last time. So stick around and yeah, don't go anywhere. I'm coming back. Hold on.